Yo, what's up? I'm back. It is House Divided on a Monday, like 100 minutes ago. I'm back. We're talking combine, except now I've got Chad Hastings with me. I got dogs barking. I don't know what's going on in the Ketchum household. Thanks for joining us. Oh, the wife is here. That's why the dogs are barking while I'm beginning the show. Guys, like, comment, subscribe to the page. Jump into the specs chat away. Lizzie says hello, though, as we get the show started. She was really excited about the Elimination Chamber on Saturday night and the Combine. So the dog was just happy, Chad.
Big weekend. A lot of good stuff to watch, man. I'm right there with Lizzie. I was watching 40s and broad jumps and Elimination Chambers. It was awesome.
Can I admit that I thought the Elimination Chamber sucked for a long time, and then it came together? A little bit like those combine performances.
Nah.
Sometimes you just got to wait and let things unfold. I think that was Quinn Ewers' kind of strategy the entire weekend. Show up, do your thing, and let everybody else expose themselves as trash. And sometimes one man can look like treasure because the other man stinks like trash.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we're looking at, Chad.
Yeah, before we dig too much into Quinn, I think you get a perfect segue because that's kind of the way I know you look at online poker. You get in there, you do what you do, and you see if everybody else can look like trash, right? That's your general theory?
I always expect that either someone is going to reveal themselves to be trash or I will.
Yeah, exactly. This week, there's a big deal coming up on Wednesday. If it comes together, it's going to be pretty badass. Tell them about it, Catch.
Wednesday, while we're doing the show, we're playing tournament poker over at Hijack. That's right. Actual poker for cash. There's a $20 tournament that I'm buying into that we're going to do and play on the air. It's got a $2,000 guarantee, if I'm not mistaken. I'll get all the details up on Orange Bloods as soon as possible. I'll promote it up on the website. I got to get some money. Maybe I'm the guppy because I need to get some money deposited into my Hijack account so that I can sign up for the tournament because I'm out of money on Hijack. It's not because I went to any of the Texas Card House locations and cashed out. It's because I just lost my money. So I got to get some more money, but I'm in on Wednesday. We're going to be playing cards, talking Texas football. It should be a lot of fun. Scan that QR code. Come play cards with me on Wednesday. Just know you're going to be able to see me play. You're going to see the cards on the screen, but the card part will be on a delay so that you bastards don't try to cheat me like I'm going to try to cheat you.
That is crazy. So, yeah, Ketch will be playing cards. You guys could be playing online poker with him. I'll be, twiddling my thumbs and discussing the John Cena heel turn.
I'll be with you, Chad. You won't even know it. You won't know anything's any different.
Right.
Other than the fact that you'll see my cards and occasionally you may have an opinion or two like, Catch!
Yeah.
Pocket Kings, what are you going to do, baby? What are you going to do?
For those concerned about, oh my God, can Ketch really do this? Are the legends true? From 2008 to 2012, Ketch would play online poker, run orangebloods.com, write a book for a big section of it, and deal with anything going on at his house.
I wrote that entire book during our show.
He could, all of that while still engaging in a show with me. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
The crazy thing is that book came out that summer. Like, we didn't start our first show was March 17th, 2008. The book came out like in August. I wrote that book in like a month. It went to print. It came out.
Yep.
Kind of amazing that happened.
That's why when people asked you right around that time, how's the book, you could tell them. But when they said, how's the radio show, you were like, I have no idea. I really don't know.
It was good.
I'll let you know in a couple months when I really focus back in.
This was me.
Oh, dude, you were.
I didn't even know who I was yet. It was like da, 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 da.
If y'all are old enough, like me and Ketch, to remember when they used to do Circus of the Stars with the plate spinners, that's what Ketch was doing. The plate spinning was always one of my favorites because nobody could ever really do it. It was one of the toughest things on earth. Go back and Google plate spinning at the Circus of the Stars. It was amazing. They'd always get a comedian to do it, and it was just the stupidest thing. That's what Catch was doing back in 08 and 09 as we got cranked up on the radio. So
we'll do a little bit of that, but let's talk now. Let's talk this weekend. Let's talk about Quinn Ewers, the thing that I'm still terrified to kind of do, Chad.
Well, I mean, I've been saying it for weeks, Catch. I really thought this was going to be an opportunity for Quinn to, I'm not saying like, show up, show out, and just blow the whole thing away. I just knew who else was throwing. And the more I heard who was and who wasn't throwing, I thought, okay, well, Quinn is going to do some things better than those guys. And I think there'll be an argument for him as the third quarterback coming out of it. And I think that's kind of where we are today. I'm really interested to get your thoughts on it. He certainly was not perfect. And some of those things we've talked about were there. But Catch, a lot of the routes that I knew they were going to make him throw, he looked really good. And a couple of those other dudes did not look good.
Look, I think Quinn Ewers has become one of the easiest NFL players to kind of analyze in this draft. I think we know what he does really well. The short and intermediate stuff outside the hash marks, like those big boy NFL throws that, like, if you can make them, you live with them. If you can't, they don't ask you to throw them a whole lot. Like, you either can do it or you can't. Quinn can make those throws. It's why he was the 5-star number 1 overall prospect coming out of high school. He's not physically dynamic in that, he's not a special athlete and he can get hurt because he's not the biggest guy in the world. And he doesn't throw the deep ball worth a crap. Like that continued in Indianapolis. Didn't throw the deep ball well. Doesn't throw the deep ball to moving targets well. And yet he's a different class of thrower of the football in some of these other areas than the quarterbacks that he's competing against for draft positioning in this draft. Yeah. He's not in last year's draft. He's not competing with 5 or 6 guys that have first-round grades. I don't even know that I believe that there are 2 guys with legit first-round grades. I wouldn't want to touch Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders with a 10-foot pole, a 100-foot pole. If it was my team, the Cowboys, oh, no, Jerry, no. But, beyond that, like I think Quinn's got as much upside as an NFL quarterback as anybody else. And in the NFL, that's got value. And it was weird at the combine to just kind of let everybody else stub their toe. And even him not having a wonder workout didn't mean he didn't have a good weekend, because some of these dudes suck, man. Like Dylan Gabriel's not an NFL quarterback.
Well, he was. There's 2 guys that really stood out to me, Catch, on names people know that were bad. One of them was Dylan. Just wasn't consistent. A lot of airmailed stuff. And one of those guys you come out of it thinking probably like a little small, like you've talked about, but also just system dude, right? Just one of those system guys where if you try to plug him into an NFL system, it's another thing. The other guy that just blinked, and I knew it was going to happen. Unless you're one of these Ohio State fans that showed up, drank a lot, and cheered everything he did and tried to blame the receivers for Will Howard's mistakes, man, that guy looked really bad. It was perfect in a way for Quinn that a lot of times Howard followed his rep.
Yeah, they were in the same group. That first quarterback group had a lot to talk about, and it really didn't center around Quinn. But when it was over with, you were like, God, those other guys sucked.
Yeah, there were times now where Jackson Dart going ahead of him, I didn't think helped Quinn. A couple times Dart had some nice throws and stuff, but when both of them were bad, when Dart would throw something bad and then Will Howard, it was like the best meat on average bread for a sandwich, where Quinn would come out of it going, yeah, did y'all see that? Because he was bookended by kind of just messy stuff. And even when Sark was on there with him, there was a moment where Quinn hit that out route you were talking about perfectly. And then Will Howard damn near hit a lady in the seats, like with the next throw. So the comparison looked to me, Catch, about like what I thought. Even if Milroe had thrown, I thought that'd be the same kind of story. There'd be sloppiness around him, and Quinn could show you some steadiness. But it goes back to those same things. Can you count on him to be durable? If you need deep, accurate throws, what do? Can the guy drive the ball down the field in the NFL or not? It just doesn't feel like he can. So now it's what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I just look at Quinn, and it's like, it's going to – and I said this earlier in the Monday Overreaction show. He's not Jaden Daniels. Like, it's become pretty clear that Jaden Daniels could have been drafted by the Browns. And the Browns would be a different NFL franchise because of it.
Maybe.
It doesn't matter where some guys play. And it matters. Everything matters for some guys in terms of location. Who are you being coached by? I was convinced that I was like, Jaden Daniels going to Washington. Dan Quinn will mess that up.
Yeah. How's that going for you and me as a Cowboys fan right now? By the way, Catch, did anything happen with that team over the weekend? They didn't get that guy a badass target or anything, did they? They didn't get him a guy he'll love to throw to and only had to throw away a 5th-round pick, did they?
All they had to do was absorb the contract, which is what they would have given him anyway.
Dear Lord.
How the hell did they only get a 5th-round pick for Deebo Samuel?
Dude, you're talking about the low point of my weekend.
I understand that. Why wouldn't you have just traded him last year, not given him a big contract, got like a 1st or 2nd day pick, and then just let Washington give him the huge deal anyway? Like, I don't understand what happened there. I keep reading analysis of what happened, and it just seems like Washington got a lot better.
Yeah, no, they did. They did. But to the Quinn discussion, I think Vivek nails it. We've kind of said it many different ways. Ewers shines in controlled settings. He struggles with a pass rush. Vivek, that's exactly why I thought it. I had Alex Dunlap's, voice in my head these last few weeks. Quinn's great against air. Quinn in practice is going to look good. And I even thought he would look
But
decent.
He wasn't that good against air.
Well, no, but
I'm
saying leading into it, that was my feeling of this is where he'll get a chance. But to the point, I don't think he did not look as good as I thought overall. I do think they've messed with that one of those deep routes. It messed everybody up. There was one of those deep routes, I swear. They couldn't figure out where they were throwing it. They sprayed that ball all over the yard. It looked like you and me were out there trying to make that throw.
Some of these dudes throw the ball like you and me.
Some of it was bad, but the particular route made them all look bad. But that deep ball where the receivers got to come back, I know a Texas fan watched that and kind of rolled the eyes about, yep, I've seen that in a real game situation where everything has to come back. So, again, how do you fully assess what he is and what can he be?
Well, he's a project. That's what he is. He's so easy. He needs to go to a team with an offensive-minded head coach. He really needs to he needs to go to the Rams. There's never been a more obvious that's where he should go spot. Then I think in all the years I've been covering Texas football, he needs to go to the Rams because his best case scenario is that he's like a poor man's Matt Stafford. He can do a lot of this. He doesn't have Matt Stafford's arm talent, and Texas fans that say things like he does don't understand what Matt Stafford's arm talent is truly like. Matt Stafford may have the greatest arm in the history of the league, quite honestly. Like, he's on a short list. But Quinn, in areas of the field where he's at his best, can do some Stafford-like things. He needs to go. He needs to sit. He needs to disappear for a couple of years, get good coaching, and then let's see what he's got. He's not ready to play in the NFL. If too much is asked for him too early, he's going to fizzle out. And, I just feel like the best case scenario for Quinn is day 2, 2nd round, find the dream spot and go marinate for a while.
Yeah.
I really worry that anything more than that is going to lead him right to the waters of failure.
Interesting. I just peeked at the Rams picks. Catch. They pick 1st round and then not until the 3rd. So there would have to be some movement if it's Rams. I agree with you.
The Rams aren't taking a quarterback in the 1st round if they just gave Matthew Stafford a fucking extension. So that ain't happening.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So first round is the 26th pick. It's not there. The next pick they would have is 90th in the third round, if I saw it correctly. So would Quinn fall all the way into the third round? That's where the Rams would pick. So just to keep everybody kind of aware of it. But yeah, he has to right now, Catch, he just needs to prove, can you be a career backup type of guy at least? Can you
Would you
hang
be
out
okay with the Cowboys taking a second round flyer on him, or are they just married to Dak and that's stupid?
I mean that's mixed feelings. I would not be happy about that for Quinn because I don't trust the Cowboys to deal with quarterback.
I'm just trying to get a feel for it's because here's what I think Texas fans do. They say things like Quinn Ewers should be a first-round draft pick. Mm-hmm. And then you say, well, do you want him to be a first-round draft pick for your team?
Right. No, that's a different – here's what I'll say, Catch. If he could become the next in a long line of, oh, God, can somebody please take this job from Cooper Rush? Sure.
Oh, if that's the – well, but they got Trey Lance.
Do they? They have who? Who did you say they have, Catch? Trey what?
I mean –
Trey who?
That's what I heard.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I don't know. I heard they had Trey Lance.
How dare you spread those rumors? Those are vicious football rumors that people like to spread.
Well, it's a rumor because I thought, well, if they really do have Trey Lance, we'd have seen him last year, but that didn't happen. So maybe they don't have Trey Lance. Maybe they just gave away a third rounder, and people were like, "What happened to that third rounder?" And they're like, Trey Lance." I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah. We got a couple of chatters saying somebody says Quinn's not going to be available in the third round. Tom G.
Maybe. Quinn Ewers is not going in the first round. So to suggest that he could not go in the third round doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room.
But here's okay, this is what's wild, Catch. Think about the draft these last few years. Teams love to panic, and they love to jump into that first round.
But they don't love to take quarterbacks that can't throw the ball down the field.
That's fair. But we've seen
we have seen
quarterbacks go in the first. What do we see last year? It was 6 out of the first 8 or whatever it was. There was a year where Jake Locker got taken in the top 10.
Yeah, but now we're going back a decade.
No,
let's keep it last half decade.
But to these guys, what we're going to find out is how far is the gap? How big is the gap in their mind once Sanders and Ward are off the board? Are we really going to watch a whole first round roll by? Edge rushers but
the only people today who were talking about Quinn Ewers as the third, I watched a number of people who were talking about Tyler Shaw from Louisville as that guy had the best quarterback workout at the combine among the players vying for the third spot. What we're doing with Quinn is he wasn't terrible, and a lot of the other guys were. But he didn't perform where it was oh, God damn, Quinn was so good. He's now definitely the third guy. I think we're trying to make him the third guy. I don't know that NFL teams think that. I don't know that he showed that over the weekend, but I know this. I'd rather have my team take Quinn Ewers than Taylor Shaw. I'd rather, if that's where we are, where we're trying to convince ourselves that dude, former Tech quarterback, who ended up in Louisville, that he's the third guy, then just give me Quinn if you're an NFL team. Yeah, I'll take my chances that a couple of years of development get him where he's supposed to be. I am not buying some of this other stuff, even though it's probably I think at the draft order today, I'm not buying Quinn Ewers ends up being A, the third quarterback, or B, a first round quarterback. It's not. So I think he's going to go in round 2. I think round 3 would be a disappointment. The only thing that gets Quinn into the first round is that it's so valuable if you hit on a first round quarterback because you don't have to pay that guy starter money for half a decade. Look what the 49ers have been able to do with Purdy. And the moment they've got to give Purdy 25 plus million. Well, that is no longer the thing to do. Yeah. If I'm the 49ers, I would rather just take Take the next guy and let Kyle Shanahan develop him and like use that money elsewhere. That's where you get value with Quinn Ewers. But he has not been good enough to be a first round draft pick. He wasn't good enough last year. You know, like here we're doing that thing. I'll be honest. I didn't even write about Quinn this weekend, Chad, because I still am at this point where like it's not fun. Still not fun. Somebody asked me over the weekend, R-Long68 on Orange Bloods was like, Jeff, it's really conspicuous that you wrote like 8,000 words. None of them were about Quinn Ewers. And it's like, because nothing has changed. We still do this thing where Texas fans hear one thing and like your eyeballs and your brain just tell you something else. And I don't know. I know this, though. There were a ton of Longhorns that had great weekends.
Yeah, though there's definitely that. We got a super chat that came in a little off topic. We'll get to that, Jose. I see it there.
Oh, God. Did you see this?
I did not. We'll talk. We will continue the combine discussion and whether or not Quinn has a shot at QB3. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Catch, you can tell me about it. I didn't see it. $4.99 super chat. Buy or sell Mateta of Crystal Palace, kick to the face this weekend. Was the worst injury you've seen in a non-combat sport during play. He left in a neck brace.
Well, look, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, in our team's channel, send you, like, you need to see what happened, okay?
So this is a soccer in-game injury.
What happened was the goalkeeper I'm just going to send it to you.
Okay.
Because it won't do justice.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is that this weekend, and the thing is, this was in the FA Cup. So it's like a small team, Millwall. Okay. Oh my God. When you see the final 5 seconds of this 20-second clip I sent you,
I am on the way.
The goalkeeper takes a running leap and like kicks another player in the face. And
oh my God, and it's his teammate?
No.
Oh no.
No, that is not his teammate.
Oh.
That happened. Now the funny thing about this is Millwall is in London.
Wow.
I don't know what to compare Millwall to. They are known as, in general, a section of London that's very racist, very blue collar, very like if you go to their games, you're probably going to get beat up. Like think of what we think about Philadelphia, multiply it by 100. Like people in the UK are legitimately fearful of going to Millwall. It is not a place for the faint of heart.
Okay.
It was a Millwall goalkeeper that when this was over, Chad, there are people who are convinced that he did that on purpose because he's from Millwall and that he should have been arrested.
And the game was at their place.
Yes. And their fans cheered.
Home game, home goalie, kicked the dude in the face. They took him off in a neck brace and the fans cheered it.
The fans cheered, let him die, let him die, let him die.
Oh my God. My God. Even Drago wasn't that bad. Drago was if he dies, then he dies.
He dies. He wasn't in the ring with Apollo. Die, Apollo, die.
Damn. That's
terrible. Jose,
that's bad.
Look, man, I've only been like really watching soccer hardcore for like a decade. I ain't never seen that before. I've never until this weekend seen that.
For the record, any cards come out for that one?
The official did not give him a card. It went to VAR and he was dismissed from the game.
Okay, so nothing on the field, but the video official looked at it and said, get him out of here.
The on-field official has made one terrible on-field decision after another over the course of everybody in English soccer knows Michael Oliver. Okay. Arsenal fans are convinced he's so terrible at his job that he's just out to get Arsenal, except like he did a Liverpool game a couple of weeks ago.
Not good.
and yet it was topped this weekend. That didn't get a yellow card, Chad.
Is he the Angel Hernandez of international soccer? Is he that bad?
It's worse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because he used to be thought of as the best official in England, but then he started accepting money from the Saudis.
Oh, God.
And then people got mad because they were like, well, you can't go to Saudi Arabia and collect checks and then come back from the weekend and then officiate other Saudi-owned teams. And like,
damn.
Chad, it really is a different world. Like, I
is.
don't know if you – all I can tell you is, man, being a soccer fan, the geopolitics involved and like –
yeah, it's a different level of commitment. I don't know if I'm ever going to be ready for it. I love
that
don't
the
know.
Millwall goalkeeper did this. Their fans cheered for the player to die, and everybody's like impression of what happened was, well, he did it on purpose. Well, how do you know he did it on purpose? Because from Millwall.
We know. Because we know. Of course we know. Oh, my Lord. If y'all want to throw us a super chat, we'll get to it. There's a chat about Quinn that I definitely want to get to, because if something happens at the draft, it's really going to test the fandom of someone close to me. We will get to that. We'll also thank our great partners today, including the good folks at Sinus and Snoring Specialist. Speaking of people close to me, over the weekend, I heard something I haven't heard in a long time. I heard my wife snore. And I'm like, wait, what is that? She's snoring? Is that what that sounds like? I look over, not wearing the CPAP machine. Well, that explains the snoring. When she wears that CPAP machine, it's been great. She sleeps well. She just fell asleep. She was reading on her phone or whatever, fell asleep and snored a little bit. And then the next day she talks about, yeah, it was a little tough. And I woke up, then put it on. Whatever it is you're going through, sinus, allergies, the snoring, the sleep apnea, Sinus and Snoring Specialist can help you out. I threw a post on Orange Bloods today talking about this John Cena heel turn, but I also put a comment at the beginning about somebody who knew Dr. Slaughter all the way back like 20 years ago. He's got over 20 years of experience. They remember him way back in the day. He's gotten a lot of love on those posts. And I do appreciate those of you that have mentioned me or mention Orange Bloods when you tell them, when they ask where you heard about it. Get on over there, get it all taken care of. SinusSnoringENT.com or call 601-0303. You can also securely text that number. Sinus and Snoring Specialists. Feel clear, rested, and healthy. And remember, if you have a CPAP machine, it only works if you wear it. So there you go. All right.
Wendy.
Only works if you wear it. Speaking, Catch, of my lovely wife.
Did you talk to Wendy when she woke up like Dabo talked to Tyler?
No, I did not.
Wendy.
No, I don't. I know better than to do that. I haven't been married this long, Catch, by doing that, by treating my wife.
2025, but yeah, that's true.
I don't stay married by talking to people like they're Tyler and Spartanburg. Trust me, that is not how it works. Not how it works. Speaking of my lovely wife, Catch, I do wonder what her fandom would do if Christopher is right. Christopher says, we'll see. We disagree on Quinn because I can see him getting drafted by the Steelers, taking him 21st in the draft. Christopher, allow me to take a break and pray to the football gods.
I want to see that just because I know so many Steeler fans.
Dear sweet baby football gods, please let the Pittsburgh Steelers draft Quinn Ewers in the first round of the draft so that my wife, Jason Sukamel, and all those that love the black and yellow will have to process complex feelings.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Amen.
Christopher, you're wrong. Quinn Ewers may go to a lot of places, but ain't an AFC North team in the world taking that dude in the first round. Think about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers can't throw the ball down the field. You think an AFC North team that plays in the worst weather imaginable wants a quarterback that can't throw the ball down the field? You got to be able to drop the hammer if you're going to be a quarter. That's why Joe Flacco went to Baltimore. Couldn't do anything else. He can throw the ball down the field.
Yeah. And Catch, an extra layer of why that Rams division might make sense, right?
He's got to go like a West Coast short passing game, controlled. I want him playing at SoFi Field.
Yeah. SoFi would be his home. Arizona's in division, weather controlled. San Francisco, not weather controlled, but you're there. That's the worst one. Well, Seattle's the worst one, right? He'd have to deal with Seattle and like a rain game.
That's just a wet ball. That's not, you're not usually like
Right.
the AFC North has the reputation that it has.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying he ain't going to Pittsburgh. We know Cincinnati's not taking him.
No.
I don't know what the hell to make out of Cleveland, but like you couldn't be the Browns and take Quinn Ewers. Just not big enough, and he's just not got the arm.
Ooh.
And
Christopher, I hope you're right.
I've changed my mind because I was like, I want to see the circus of it all because Steeler fans will lose their minds. That's not what I want for Quinn. I would rather see Quinn with the Dallas Cowboys than the Pittsburgh Steelers because at least he's a controlled environment.
Right. That's true. Now but all the division rivals there are not.
But like playing in Philly, Washington, and New York, still not the same as
it's not Baltimore,
Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Like I know it should be.
You're right.
It's just different.
All right, Catch. So outside of Quinn, which obviously was one of the 14 Texas guys there. What's the next name that pops out in your mind? Is it? I heard you guys discussing a lot of them today, and Matthew Golden was a big one when it comes to that speed. Who are what's the next thing on your mind when it comes to the Longhorns and the combine? Because there was a lot of good stories.
Golden, Banks, and Barron.
Okay.
Barron runs in the 4.3s. Banks has an 84-inch wingspan. Whereas I cannot believe for the last 2 months I have seen Kelvin Banks questioned.
Yeah.
Like that man didn't start every game of his life at left tackle for 3 straight years and like against the biggest and baddest dudes in college football and didn't block his ass off. As it turns out, Will Campbell is the guy walking around with T-Rex arms. Like this is Will Campbell. This is Kelvin Banks. I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, and you know what happened. I mean, it's easy to see what happened with the Mitchell thing because when you're his size and you run a 40 like that, it's going to get everybody's attention. They're going to start talking. But to your point, I mean, if there ever was a go watch the film guy, Kelvin Banks is that guy. Sark brought it up when he was sitting in the booth. It's like, yeah, we blocked some dudes. We had to block some guys.
He literally controlled Alabama's Will Anderson in his second career start.
Yeah. The guys A&M sent after him, the guys Bama sent, the guys Georgia sent multiple times.
So now I'm just mad about it, Chad. I'm mad that Kelvin Banks can't get some damn respect on his name because all the things that was said about him, like Will, and then what did I see this weekend? It's like, Will Campbell ran a fast 40, so his T-Rex arms don't matter. And it's like, wait a minute.
Right. I know. That's where you got to really consider the position you're talking about here. Like, is it that critical? It was a nice 40. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed watching the 40.
Hey, man.
And when he took off, you knew it. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a fast 40.
I'll put him on my offensive line 4x1 relay team.
Exactly. But if you got a badass edge rusher coming after my quarterback, the first question about that left tackle is not, what was his 40 time? That's not what I want to know. I want to know height, weight, wingspan, cone drills.
He's got tiny hands for the position, right? Like normal man, his hands are fairly normal. I think they were 9.5. So he's got decent sized hands, right? But Kelvin Banks got catcher's mitts, 10 plus inches. I think it was like 10.5. And then his wingspan is like 84 inches, and Campbell's is 6. Campbell's over 6'5". He's got 77-inch wingspan. Like his hands are small, his arms are short, his wingspan is short.
Yeah, and to be very clear, they're both projecting as the same thing in the NFL. Like,
yes, well,
stick him out at left tackle and don't worry about it.
Well, we've heard some people say some teams like Kelvin Banks more as a guard, which isn't crazy. Like Kelvin Banks would be an all-pro guard, but the value is at tackle. And at the moment you think he's not a left tackle or even a right tackle is the moment it's like, well, maybe he's a day 2 guy. If you don't think he can play tackle. So, because I looked, I think there were 8 tackles in I have to go back and look. I went and looked at all of the first round draft picks that were tackles in last year's draft. There were like 7 or 8 of them. Only one basically had Will Campbell's arm length. Everybody else, super long arms, super long wingspan, very much kind of where Kelvin Banks resides. I think Kelvin Banks is an 80-plus percentile from a wingspan standpoint. So I thought Kelvin Banks had a great day. I thought his weekend, weirdly, I don't give a damn what Will Campbell ran in the 40. If my team needs a left tackle, my decision has been made.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is it down to those two guys? And are we seeing now? We're now seeing projections that Campbell could go ahead of Banks?
Oh, yeah. That's been out there for a while.
Okay.
I don't know that Banks is going to be the first Longhorn off the board, and that kind of sounds crazy.
So now because of what Matthew Golden did, maybe he's the first Longhorn gone?
Well, look, man, I think Barron, Banks, and Golden are all gone by 15. Where? I don't know.
Okay.
It could be that none of those guys go in the top 10, and then bang, bang, bang for about an hour at the draft. Yeah. It's just going to be, let's just set up shop in Steve Sarkisian's home.
Right.
Because I think all of them, I think the Cowboys are in play for 3 Longhorns. Like, I think at 12, if Banks was at 12, hey, man, don't even think twice. If you don't run the card, see, Sandman, I'm kind of with you, man. Don't know. No, I'm not. I'm done.
Just the first 3, right? Just the first 3.
Chad, we did this thing over the weekend.
Hey,
all of the Quinn Ewers bias, where it's like Quinn had never done a wrong thing in his life.
Hey, to be fair, Sandman did not say all these. He didn't say first round. He just said should get him some Longhorns.
Okay, that's okay. Okay,
right.
I apologize, Sandman. I thought, quite honestly, 3 of those names are not like one other.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he intended that to be all of them in a first round discussion.
Because if we're gonna do that, I'm okay. Look,
collect.
I'll take me some Barron Sorrell somewhere. Barron Sorrell ends up with the Cowboys. I ain't gonna be mad.
Mm-hmm.
If they took a flyer on Isaiah Bond at some point, not going to be mad. There's a lot of Longhorns in this draft. If Makuba or Jaden Blue is a big winner from this weekend, and Longhorn fans, I don't think have any clue. I was telling Anwar this earlier. There's a Cowboys fan earlier this weekend that sent Brian Broaddus a mock draft. And they were taking Jaden Blue at in the 170 or something like that. So it would have been like a 5th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And Broaddus was like, that Blue fella is better and is going to go. And he started listing Cowboy picks in the 2nd round, in the 3rd round, in the 4th. Jaden Blue made money this weekend because running backs that run 4 threes, they just don't grow on trees, man. And when you can get one, not worried about fumbling. That's what you pay coaches for. Look, I will continue to say this. Tashard Choice, the most damning thing about Tashard Choice is that he couldn't get that fumbling thing fixed with his number 1 pupil, who's his number 1 NFL draft prospect. The best running back prospect on that team a year ago is Jaden Blue. And look, I can say it. Tashard Choice isn't on the staff anymore. That was a failure. And my guess is the Lions won't be taking Jaden Blue in the draft. Because if you couldn't fix him in college, maybe if you're the Lions, you just blame Jaden Blue. But I'm not the Lions. I just want to know why they couldn't get that guy has to stop fumbling. And to me, it's on the coaches. That's what you have to fix. Fix that fumbling thing. You can't fix speed. And what do we know about Jaden Blue? When he wasn't fumbling, and they committed to get him to the ball, he scared the crap out of opposing teams. So
the other thing, Catch, just like a lot of the position groups, like the numbers they're seeing on 40 times and all the the testable stuff, but specifically the 40, those times have gone down over time. I think the average in the running back group this year was like 4.4 something. The average. And it's like, that group continues to get faster and freakier and twitchier and crazier. And he is up at the upper echelon of that group.
And you know what they don't want anymore?
That tells
slow
you something.
guys.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's just no excuse. You have to have that speed. And you're absolutely right. Whoever it is, man, would just pay attention to those early carries, the preseason carries. You get that figured out. You get him like that Tiki Barber experience us old folks saw back in the day, where Tiki went from, why can't he hold the ball, to this guy.
Great point. Tiki couldn't hold on to the ball for shit.
This was the guy. And
remember that tuck, high and tight.
And Tom Coughlin, the legendary Tom Coughlin, went through this deal with him, and we all watched a man that could run full speed with a football up right here. Somehow. It was the craziest thing we'd ever seen. We're like, what is Tiki doing? And then the sideline reporters would give you the full story, and you're like, oh, okay. It was like a real life The Program, but instead of carry the ball around campus, it was points of contact, and we're going to do, and he never dropped the ball.
Well, I remember Emmett went through a fumbling thing.
Yep. Yeah.
In Emmett's third season, it was 91.
I remember it, yeah.
They played the Oilers, they played the Giants, they played this stretch of games in 91. So, like, Emmett won the rushing title in 91. He rushed for 1,500 yards. But in the middle of that season, he was not holding on to the ball. They had a game against the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. No, that was in 90. So in 91, I'll never forget, Jimmy got to a point with Emmett where it was like, he wasn't curving Richards, but he was getting kind of pissed at Emmett.
Yeah.
And he did that thing where he said, I'll never forget, Jimmy Johnson said that he told Emmitt Smith, hold on to the ball. I remember Jimmy telling it, like, talking to the media about this, and that he felt like you had to be positive about it and not negative. So instead of saying don't fumble, you say hold on to the ball.
Ball security.
Security.
Mm-hmm.
And they worked it out. And you know what? Emmett never had that fumbling problem again. And eventually Tiki Barber figured it out too. So I just believe, can't teach 4.3 speed. I can eventually, I think, teach somebody to hold on to the damn ball. That it was just a thing all season long is mystifying to me. And it's a legit criticism of the work that Sure Choice did this year. That was on his watch.
Yeah.
It didn't get fixed. Like, what are we talking about?
And also the combo catch of Choice and Sark and the way they dealt with it. We talked about it at the time. I couldn't believe he didn't get another opportunity in that very game. They let it fester. They let it sit, and they let it – I think it was the next game was OU. So they were like, well, yeah, his next carry will be in Dallas. It's like, you didn't want – remember the game where Jonte Cook dropped that ball, that big perfect pass that arched through? They let him have another chance in that game. But they wouldn't let Blue have another chance. And I didn't understand it.
I mean, considering Texas only didn't break 20 points in its 5 biggest games of the season this year offensively, probably don't need to be quitting on your best NFL running back prospect. And one of the only guys, when Bond got hurt, Golden and Blue were like the only guys bringing speed to the field.
Yeah. If he's a badass, he's a badass.
By the way, Jefferson, no doubt in my mind that Matthew Golden is wide receiver 1 in this draft.
Man, good for him. Jefferson, it is one of those billboards you're going to want as a Longhorn fan. Catch the argument for what the portal can be. I mean, just think about what Texas has done over these last
– He wasn't even viewed as a big-time – like, I need to go back and look. He was not. I think only one of the major services had Golden ranked as a top 50 college prospect in the portal.
Yeah. But this last few, cycles of it, think about the message that's being sent as we're headed towards spring football and all that stuff. If you have not gotten the opportunity, if you maybe have gotten a little opportunity, but you just don't feel like they're noticing you. If you know you're a freak, you just haven't got a chance to be your freakiest. Maybe think about the Longhorns, because look what Matthew Golden just pulled off. Coming in with that group where he could have gotten lost, he ends up as this dude, and it's back-to-back fastest guy at the combine. Sark coaches them both. Like, whoa.
it's kind of amazing that Texas, if I'm a Texas fan today, the thing that gives me the tingles, the thing that would have made this weekend super badass is that forget about what Texas fans think of their own program. The rest of the nation looks at Texas football right now and they're like, that's where the speed goes. And look, man, I can remember once upon a time that was the Miami Hurricanes, and then it was Florida State, and then it was back to the Hurricanes again. But like there are programs that are, and once upon a time, like Tennessee football used to be known, like all the fast dudes went there. That Texas is finally thought of as a speed program in college football, kind of sexy. That, you know, and next year in the draft, every Texas guy that goes there, the fundamental belief now across the country is going to be, all right, well, which one of you guys are running a 4-2? And that is crazy that in a span of a couple of years, we've gone from Texas can't get a guy drafted to Texas is kind of the new speed U. That's Xavier Worthy, it's Adonai Mitchell, it's Matthew Golden. I mean, Isaiah Bond can't get on the 4x1 because he's a 4.4 guy, and Jahdae Barron just ran a 4.39. So Texas's slow guys are running 4.4s. And I'm just telling you, man, if I'm Chris Bennett, I got the tingles. I'm smiling all day.
Yeah.
And like my thing will be, I'm just going to remind people how fast Texas football is. I'm just going to tell people over and over and over again, you know how fast we are? Because that's fun.
Well, here's the other thing, Catch. It's not just about, you can say you like speed, but it's about how do you utilize the speed. Like there was a time in our lives where Al Davis of the Raiders was known for, well, I just love speed. But sometimes the way it was utilized was weird. He would just draft a guy that could burn and try to run a bunch of fly routes. But then the Raiders sucked. So it didn't matter. Well, you know, Al Davis loves speed. That became like a bad phrase in a way in the draft. But the way Sark is doing this, that was the rep when he got to Texas, and now he's showing us what that means. Like, you can explain to well, what do you mean when you say Sark loves Xavier Worthy? Oh, did you watch Matthew Golden this? Yeah. Oh, okay. The two fastest guys at the combine the last couple of years. That's what we mean by Sark-like speed, that kind of speed. The kind of speed that's built like that, runs like that, gets all the routes, makes the catches, makes the tough catches, makes the easy catches. That's the guy. So it's impressive.
By the way, we got this super chat from Jefferson where it's like $2. Jefferson. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. Neal Brown of Texas just saw ESPN post something. I posted this on Orange Bloods a couple of hours ago, but footballscoop.com was reporting, and they've reported this a couple of times, that former West Virginia head coach Neal Brown in conversation with Texas for a staff position. Mm-hmm. It looks like everybody is basically following that report. I know I see Matt Zenitz from On3. I think that's where he is. Maybe he's at 24/7 now. I can't keep up with like where the hell everybody goes. They just keep changing jobs. Zenitz is at 24/7 now, and Matt's really good as a reporter. Interviewed him once upon a time for a staff position at Orange Bloods. Looks like it's likely. I haven't seen anybody report that's official. I need to look in the team's channel. I don't know if Onwar's reported anything yet, but I think it's expected to happen. My guess is that Neal Brown would come as an analyst. They're still, you know, West Virginia just fired him in terms of like contracts and stuff like that. He's going to want to collect all of his money. The smart money would be that Neal Brown would likely come in as an analyst. I don't think he'd be like on staff. I don't know what job you would give him.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's what it feels like. It feels like a little. Maybe this is the beginning of the Sark car wash.
Probably. And look, we know that Texas does this. We saw them do it the last few years with
Gary P.
NFL special teams coaches and defensive coaches. And we know that, you know, they've had Gary Patterson to help out on the defensive side of the ball. And we know that on offense, they've had similar things. We also know that Steve Sarkisian ain't trying to hire a new OC. We know he's got a quarterbacks coach. We know he doesn't have any real open available spots on the staff right now. So, like, it makes total sense that if you could bring Neal Brown in and be on a 1-year deal, he'll be back in the game soon, either as a head coach or probably as an offensive coordinator. I think he was up for the Ohio State gig at one point. So, he's a really talented guy. He's really highly thought of. I wouldn't go overboard with the impact that we think something like this would have, but hey, man, good people, A's hire A's. And if you're Steve Sarkisian, this is what you want to see him do.
Yep. Real quick, Catch. What would you think about this as a Cowboys fan? Are you good for this? Sandman says, for the love of God, please compel the Cowboys to draft Matthew Golden. You be okay with that?
F yeah, man.
Yeah?
I think he is. Let me break this down for you, okay?
Okay.
They gave CeeDee Lamb a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you noticed this season, but teams don't like to let CeeDee Lamb catch the ball a whole lot against them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cowboys didn't have anybody than CeeDee Lamb that really does anything. I mean, you guys watch the games, right? I don't need to explain this.
Yeah.
Golden on the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb does two things. It gets the best out of CeeDee Lamb. It assures CeeDee. One of them dudes is getting man-to-man coverage with no help. I don't care. If they want to give CeeDee man-to-man, let's do that. Let's get a guy that lets CeeDee get open.
Yeah.
I also, if Dak's the guy, because they gave Dak half the national debt, then, hey, man, let's let Dak cook. And when I say let's let Dak cook, let's give him dudes that are no longer 5 years off their prime. Can we not do this anymore? Where it's like, hey, Brandon Cooks is available. Sweet, Brandon Cooks in his prime. No, Brandon Cooks on like his 9th team. Awesome. No, I don't want to do that anymore. So if Matthew Golden's available at 12, I'm only saying no for one guy, Kelvin Banks. Now, you could probably talk me into it. This is not a bad draft, Chad.
No.
They're going to be everybody up until 20, I think I really like. So,
yeah, there's some big-time talent.
There's a world out there where if they go defense and it's the right guy, I kind of get it. But Banks and Golden make that offense better. And Cowboys ain't winning the Super Bowl unless that offense gets better. So,
and you just watch. I mean, this is a team that just watched Martin go into retirement. And, I mean, how long has it been since that offensive line was that offensive line? Like, they have not addressed it, I think, on the level that it would have been need to address it. If you think he's that guy, take him. It's one of those positions. If you feel like you got that type of guy, to your point, if you thought you had a badass edge rusher for the rest of, for another decade, okay. But Banks would be a hell of a choice. Cowboys are 11 or 12, right? Is that where they pick? 12. It is going to be wild with a bunch of Longhorn fans watching. We know the rep of Jerry. Some Longhorn fans believe he never likes to draft Longhorns. Not completely true.
He'll draft Demo.
Right? He'll draft one. He will draft one. It happens. There haven't been a ton of them, but he will draft them.
Texas hasn't had a ton of guys worth drafting in the last.
And that's fair too. What we're going to see here is you're sitting at 12, and like you're talking about, there will be at least 2.
There's 3 guys. You're right, because I think Golden's going to go potentially top 10. Like Matthew Golden's going to be wide receiver 1. Wide receiver 1 is not falling outside of the top 10.
Right. But you're also telling me that Barron is in discussion at that level too, right?
No, he's top. If Barron, I think, is a top 15 pick. Like I said, I think Golden, Banks, and Barron are all gone by 15.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys pick at 12. And you can make a case that all 3 of those guys answer real question marks for a team that has needs everywhere. But I would say that, no offense to John, people think I hate Jahdae Barron because I didn't think he was great as a junior. he was arguably the best defensive back Texas has had outside of an Earl Thomas and maybe Michael Huff in 2005. Like, that is how good he was this year.
Yeah.
You guys got to forgive me for those junior comments, because I haven't said that Johnny Barron hasn't been great since times that no longer matter. Yeah, Johnny Barron's gone by 15. I think the Cowboys have bigger needs, but somebody will need either the best or second best corner in this draft, and that is how Johnny Barron projects right now.
Yeah, and by the way, text guy, look, we're a long way from the draft. If you're going to be bringing truth into this discussion, please.
No, dude, they don't screw up the draft. More times than not, the draft is the best part about being a Cowboys fan.
Oh, God.
It ain't the football.
That's saying a lot.
We actually trust the scouts. That
is saying a lot.
Don't you just assume the Cowboys will get a first-round draft pick that hits? Even Tyler Smith was like, oh, I thought that was a reach. They got that guy from Tulsa, and it was like, I don't know, man. They might have – nope, he's good.
Yeah, I trust him in the first round. I trust that first day now that we have it. Now we have it all one day. Once we get to Friday through, Friday and Saturday.
Well, then we just start doing shit.
Right. Then that's when I want to be able to trust a whole draft. I haven't trusted a whole draft with the Cowboys in a while. So, because
I'm tired of trusting the Eagles draft.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I hate looking at their drafts and going,
yeah. Oh,
can we have that?
Dude, these last couple years, every one of those Georgia dudes they would grab, and you're like, oh, Lord, that's going to work.
Well, and that's what I said about Barron Sorrell today. The biggest compliment I can give Barron Sorrell today is that he looks like the kind of guy the Eagles draft every year at the defensive line.
I heard you say that, and I think it's a great comment. And here's the extra love I'll give Barron Sorrell, and hope Daddy Sorrell is checking out the show at some point. Check out this number. You and I have been talking about Barron and little comparisons to other guys. Do you realize this past season, if you combine Shamar Stewart and Nick Scorton of A&M, they had a half a sack more than Barron Sorrell together. They together had 6.5.
Really?
Barron Sorrell had 6, and Barron didn't have the season he wanted. He would tell us that. He would tell us, fellas, I didn't start the year to have 6. But it's so weird. When you look at the measurable stuff catch and the times from the combine, everything Barron Sorrell has, Shamar Stewart is just a dialed-up version of it. A little taller, a little more weight. The times are better. The broad jumps longer, all that stuff. But you look at those numbers and go to the film, 1.5 sacks from Shamar and 6 from Sorrell. I'm really interested to watch those two guys. The thing about
Sorrell is that both last year and the year before, both in the Big 12 and the SEC, he was among the conference leaders. In fact, I know in 2023, he was first in the Big 12 in quarterback pressures.
Yep.
I think he was among the leaders in pressures, pass rush pressure rate. His was among the best in the SEC. He just historically doesn't convert pressure to sacks. But that's a little bit like Jaden Blue not being able to hold on to the ball. Because if I'm a really good NFL coach, the thing you can't teach is naturally getting to the quarterback. That is, either you do it or you can't. The how do we improve getting the guy down to the ground is, I think, coachable. And the thing that Sorrell does is get to the quarterback. The thing that he historically hasn't done much to, I think, his frustration. And you know what? It kind of reminds me of what Isaiah Bond did this weekend. I think very, almost indirectly and unintentionally, Barron and Barry have made this sack thing such a, gonna get 10 sacks, guys. Gonna get 10 sacks or it's a failure. That's been kind of the attitude, and I get that because you want to set lofty goals. But Barron's game is about being a complete all-around player as a defensive end. He's also actually a really good pass rusher. He's just not elite. But in framing Barron around producing elite sack stats, I think they did him an injustice to kind of his overall like level of play. Baron Sorrell brings his lunch pail every day, every game.
Yeah.
You never felt like Baron took days off. Baron might not have got to the quarterback, but like he holds up he holds up at the line of scrimmage. He makes plays up and down the line of scrimmage. He defends the run, and he gets to the quarterback. I'm just telling you right now, if the Cowboys took Baron Sorrell in the second round, wouldn't even blink. That's exactly the kind of guy that goes in the second round, a multiple-year starter producer at a Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and he's going to play for like 10 years in the league.
Yeah,
so,
and I think to your point, I don't even know if I would put the comp out there of like a running back and fumbles, because to me, that pressure and hurry stat, that's just an advanced version of defensive line stats. Like maybe there are things where they would say,
I'm just saying it's coachable is all I'm saying.
It is, but there's also moments where that pressure or that hurry creates what Alex Dunlap would call disruption.
Yes.
Right? It creates something bad for the offense. And
Baron is the king of almost getting the sack and then somebody taking his sack.
Yeah, but so we get to the end of a game and say, hey, he had 5 of those today.
Exactly.
What happened on those 5 plays for the opposing offense? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing.
I think a fan base that loves to overrate its players, even if incredibly slightly. Because Gunnar Helm's a perfect example of that. The only thing Texas fans wanted to hear this weekend, that Gunnar Helm's the toughest son of a bitch at the combine. I mean, okay, but it was not smart to run, to time yourself on a bad ankle. And it really wasn't smart to put a 4.8 on paper, not a 4.8, a 4.85. And then only give yourself, he's got 23 days to get that thing ready for his pro day. And it's like, And like Gunnar Helm, really good player, had a great season. I don't know really what I think of him as an NFL prospect, though, because I don't know that I can fundamentally say he's a plus athlete. A 4.8 40 and a 30-inch vertical, like that's got to get better. Or, I mean, I had an NFL scout literally tell me yesterday, once the photos came out, he was like, okay, well, he'll be fine. He's just got a lot of work to do. We need to see him. And he goes, because he said, he was talking about NFL teams are not in the business of drafting 4.8 tight ends early. That's just not what they do.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I don't need to see him work out, I just need to see his film, NFL teams disagree.
Yeah.
Scouts disagree. Front office guys disagree. They actually want badass athletes, and they will pass on guys that don't have truly plus athleticism at that position until later in the draft. So like Gunnar, to me, was the loser. And there just weren't many guys of the Texas contingent outside of Isaiah Bond, because Bond got booed, which is weird. Did you read Alex's report of that?
Yeah, it was crazy. And what did we talk about late last week, Catch? What do I always say?
Careful.
Careful.
What would Terry Benedict say, Chad?
Be careful. Well, what's his name?
Not Terry Benedict, but
Ruben.
Ruben. That's right. What would Ruben say?
Ruben always said, right? If you're gonna steal from Terry Benedict, you better GD no. And my phrase is always just be careful when you're emphatic. If there's no reason to be emphatic, why be emphatic? No one was talking about Bond trying to go get Worthy's record. No one was. Nobody did. Why would you do that? Why would you say that out loud? Say, I can't wait to run and show what I've got. That's it. Leave it alone.
Has he been running 35-yard dashes and not known it?
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you're going to bring up – there's only one person, Catch, that ever brought up a 4.1940 that anybody thinks is real, and it's Dion. That's it. That's it. And that's a legendary one from way back in the day at Florida State. You can't – that was tough. Because if he just goes out and runs what he ran, it's going to feel totally different.
He doesn't get booed.
No, it would feel tough. Also, those are those fans.
Way to go, Ohio State fans, man. Like, really elevating your rep this week at the Combine.
Just a bunch of maniacs. Unbelievable. Yeah, booing the wide receivers because Will Howard was hitting people in the stands. Like, come on.
All right, hey, let's do buy or sell because I have good questions today. Like
Excellent.
I'm second today.
Okay, fair enough. We will do that. We'll get buy or sell in after we hit you with a little specs. Thanks to almost 600 of you in the specs chat. Go get stocked up.
As a Texas family-owned business, we know you don't mess with Texas. And you won't find more ways to raise a glass of Texas-made cheer than right here. So whatever you're planning, we're ready to get you ready. Because
There you have it. All right, Catch. Let's round circle
That
back
was
to you.
new Lisa.
New Lisa. That's right. That's
Lisa,
it. Hope y'all got your bottle of wine during the wine sale. Get over to Specs. Get it taken
I
care
just
of.
love Lisa, man.
Lisa, we love you. Great to see you again. Buy or sell number one, Catch. Quinn has a shot at QB3 in the draft, but he's definitely off the board by the end of the second round.
Sell definitely is just doing too much there.
Okay.
Definitely, I can't say. Likely, yeah. I think he's likely off the board by the end of round 2. But definitely, that feels like being emphatic, and we just had that conversation.
Fair enough. Buy or sell number 2, Catch. Gunnar Helm's agent had to stop him from running that 40. Pull a fire alarm, something.
Yeah, man. Look, and Anwar and I kind of disagreed about this because Anwar was like, what do you expect him to do? It's like, I expect him to do what that general did in Forrest Gump. I'm unplugging things. I'm pulling fire alarms. Like, guys, got to evacuate the dome. What happened? Bomb threat. I got to do whatever I got to do, man.
Throw a towel right in front of something. Like that.
From the stands, you're just throwing towels.
Like if you watch this TGL stuff, the indoor golf, they have the hammer. They call it they throw. It's like a flag. They throw like something. Just something.
Look, man, maybe there's nothing Gunnar Helm's agent could have done. But I always thought that's what agents were for. Why did Jerry Maguire get fired by Cush? Because he took his eyes off of Cush. Cush was like, hey, man, it's draft. Every time I turn around, you're not focused on me. If I was Gunnar Helm today, if I was Gunnar Helm's dad, I'd be like, what the hell did we hire an agent who won't call in a bomb threat to make sure a 485 doesn't get put down on paper?
Yeah. Now, in the defense of the other side, Catch, can you ever remember a guy hurting himself like that on a false start?
No, but if I was an agent, my eyes would have been glued to that, and I'd have been like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't see it. I'll admit. It was like the Janet Jackson thing at the Super Bowl. I did not see it when it happened at first. And I would have had to go back to look.
You didn't see the nip slip when it happened?
No.
I think I was the only guy at my Super Bowl party that saw it.
No, somebody had to call someone in the house to let us know it happened.
I remember telling our party that night, the world just changed, guys. I just saw Janet's nipple, and I know that happened. And people are like, you didn't see Janet. God, can you imagine that happening now?
Oh, geez.
Because that was pre-Twitter.
It was pre-Twitter. Yeah, and TiVo was barely alive. Like TiVo and DVRs were just becoming a thing. That's how we were able to see it.
I said Tebow. I don't know why you're talking about Tim Tebow. But yeah, social media really wasn't around when he was there either. I got it. I'm with you.
TiVo was barely around. Hopefully Gunnar Helm will get better very soon. Maybe by the pro day. Let's hope so. Catch, buy, or sell number 3. You saw the John Cena heel turn organically. It was not ruined for you, and you loved it.
Sell. It was not only was it ruined, it wasn't ruined though. But organically, someone on Twitter posted after all these years,
right?
Now you've done I saw a tweet and I was like, oh my God, the Elimination Chamber is tonight. So I flipped it over and I kind of sped through the women's stuff. Like I literally don't know who won that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the Kevin Owens,
Sami Zayn.
Yep, which was crazy. There's always got to be that one match where like just, goddamn, someone lost 10 years off their life. Maybe two guys did in that match. And then we got to the Elimination Chamber, and it was not ruined. I thought the whole thing, I just was like, okay, it's going to be CM. There's going to be like a CM Punk thing. And I thought that was it. And I was sitting there and I was like, I was like, the stadium's not quite buzzing like something happened. So I was convinced that like the way he won the match and CM Punk got, so I'm convinced that CM Punk will cost Cena the match in WrestleMania.
Gotcha.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
That CM had it taken away, but I knew it was coming. And then when The Rock showed up, I was like, this wasn't that great. And then The Rock showed up, and I was like, oh my God, Cena's gonna. Oh, once all the pieces started to come together, I knew it was about to happen. It didn't ruin it. I was like, that was pretty great.
There you go. Come on over to Orange Bloods. I got a post. Look for the Blinky Ghost. I got a post about Cena. I'm going to be watching Raw tonight, checking it out. Interesting stuff. All right, Catch. Here's some weird trivia for you off a birthday. It's one I did not know. Happy birthday, though, to Jackie Joyner Kersey. She's 63 today. You can name the college for Jackie Joyner Kersey.
By USC.
Ooh.
Is UCLA?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Damn it.
Crosstown.
Wrong LA team.
Crosstown. I did not know that. I did not know that's where she
I got it wrong, but like I knew that because about a year or two ago, I did the top 10 athletes in every state in the union.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And California is just
oh, it's stupid. Good God. Yeah.
Like it's hard to get the Jackie Joyner Kerseys of the world.
Yeah.
On a top 10 Cali athlete list because they just have like hundreds of them.
Yeah.
So yes, I just got the LA school wrong, but I knew she was an LA girl.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Jackie. I'm sure she's still a badass at 63. And finally, Kat, speaking of badasses, let's do an Oscar night hotter than Best Actress. Mikey Madison, hotter than Haley Steinfeld.
Great minds think alike. Stay tuned. There will be a part 2 to the Mikey Madison. Congratulations. You're an Oscar winner, and let me hold you side by side next to someone else. That's a sell. Haley Steinfeld is pretty hot. And so is Mikey Madison, but like Steinfeld's like tall and tall drink of water. And so I'm going to go sell and go Haley there. But I liked it. I like the battle. I will be returning serve momentarily.
Yeah. All I'm saying is if I'm watching the Oscars last night, if I was a woman watching the Oscars, Haley Steinfeld would have had me doing self-exams during the Oscars. That's all I'm saying. She looked incredible in that commercial.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's amazing. Commercial for like self-exams and breast cancer awareness and stuff. I thought it was an excellent play. An excellent play. All right, go ahead.
Buy or sell number 1, Matthew Golden to the Cowboys at number 12. Do it, Jerry.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Buy. Is it the best thing for Matthew Golden's career? Well, probably not. Going to the Cowboys nowadays is not. But I like your theory. Based on what they've already done, you really got to lean in on this offense. If Dak is going to get that, and you're going to do that with CeeDee Lamb, you're going to have to get some protection, as we talked about, but you're also going to have to get weaponry because you're going to need points, Jerry. Lots of them. Think about the Romo years. I think that's where you are here. Your defense ain't great. They're not going to be great. They're going to give up stuff, lots of it in this division. You're going to need 30, 32, something like that in every game. Get offensive weapons. Golden would be a good play.
Buy or sell number 2, Vic Schaefer is the best coach on the 40 acres right now.
That's got to be a buy. I'm a huge fan of Vic Schaefer. I have been for years. Catch, I think more Longhorns need to think of him.
Better than Jared Elliott?
I think so.
Don't you have to win a natty?
I mean,
ahead of guys that have won multiple natties?
I mean, that's a fair point. It's my buy or sell. I'm buying.
I'm sorry. I didn't. I'm sorry.
I can tell why you're set. You clearly set
No,
up.
I didn't. I just
Jared Elliott piece of love.
did not mean it was not a setup because I just you said it and I was like, oh wow, he's going in. Like I didn't know what the answer was.
Right, but also it is personal for me. As I was saying, if you're a Longhorn fan, I think you should consider him more of a guy you got from A&M than you do. Everybody thinks of him as Mississippi State. He was an assistant coach on A&M's national championship team. And there's a little part of my soul as an Aggie that kind of wishes, that kind of wishes they could have figured that out. Now, maybe it just couldn't have worked out because at the time he's going as a head coach and Gary wasn't done. All of that, though. But Gary Blair gets out of the business and that guy ends up at Texas. And I think he's a badass. And I think eventually he's going to win the whole damn thing. So I'm going to buy it. Coach Elliott, you're a beast, but I'm going to buy Vic Schaefer. It's a personal thing.
I'm with you. Like I just, Chad.
But it's a good point.
We're both question askers. That's it.
No, you bring up the point. Elliott's got a hell of a resume right now because he's got, like you said, the man's got three natties. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or is it 2?
No, it's 3. But he was back to back.
Back to back, 3 total. I mean, he's absolutely got the argument.
Although he's just had a bad season and Vic's not. So what have you done for me lately?
Right. Vic did just beat Don Staley, Coach Elliott. So I'm sorry. I'm one of those. I'll go recency bias.
All right, here we go. Buy or sell number 3. I told you I'm returning serve, but I got a couple of return serves. John Cena's greatest moment as a pro wrestler occurred on Saturday night. And if it's a sell, I don't know what that is. So tell me.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell and just say not so fast. We got to see how this thing finishes. Plus, if we go back through John's career,
what is his career highlight? Like I know he's won the title, and I just don't know what the signature moment is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question because I don't know if there is a moment either, but like at the moment he's becoming like the thugonomics guy and really takes hold of that. There's probably Cena fans that would tell us there's something in that run, one of his first couple titles or whatever that might be in there. So I'm going to sell and just see. It was a pretty good moment.
Greatest WrestleMania moment.
What's that?
What's his greatest Mania moment?
It's got to be him and The Rock.
Yeah. That's it, right? And it is part of what led up to what made Saturday night
and
what it was.
Right. And I'd have to go double check on whether John won either one of those matches. Did Rock win both? I can't remember, but that I think is his biggest WrestleMania moment. John is such a good dude to put people over. He will do the deed if he needs to. And that's one of his big gifts.
He'd have been a great jobber.
Yeah, but Catch, But Catch, his face on Saturday night isn't enough to make it his greatest moment yet. I want to see how this plays out because I've seen Fast and Furious 9. Him as a heel, it's not the best idea ever. I want to see how they play this out.
His facial reaction to Cody turning The Rock down was the highlight of the entire night. And then he flipped on him.
And then to go serious, it was good. But now, again, just like,
because he was so gloriously happy.
He went full Cena there. And then it was a really nice moment, the way they orchestrated it. He and The Rock, they weren't perfect, but they were damn good. They got where they needed to go. It got less awkward than it's been. I just need to see how this works, Catch. This is an all-time babyface for lots of reasons. It doesn't you can't automatically say, we'll just make him a heel. Okay. But you really have to finish this thing out. You do.
Buy or sell number 4. This may be the easiest question to answer in the history of buy or sell. And I apologize that upon reflection,
okay,
I've just served this up on a Luby's platter for you. Buy or sell number 4. Luby's fried fish is the best fish that mankind has ever created / produced. I got an Orange Buds poster on trying to tell me, Catch, what's with this Luby's fried fish thing? You need to come down to Roanoke, Virginia and get real fish. And I'm like, how dare you? How dare you? I know this, that Luby's fried fish, they put it in a box and I can buy it at H-E-B. Can you do that, Roanoke? Nope.
That's fair. Catch, the only reason to sell this is to go with the Luby's whitefish. Actually, that's the only battle. The Luby's fried fish and the Luby's whitefish, that's the battle. That's really the fight here. But I will let the kid in me speak and say bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Just take yourself a fork.
I'm really a little sick of these uppity fish people.
Get yourself a bite. Or you know what? Forget the fork. Forget it. Put the fork down.
You break it. You break it or dip it.
Grab the Luby's fried fish in your hand.
Goddamn right.
If you want to break off a little, that's fine. I usually just drag the whole brick myself. I'm a brick dragger. So take the brick.
The brick is part of what makes it so great.
Drag it through the tartar sauce.
Oh, no, ketchup.
And enjoy the rest of your day. Nah, I'm a tartar
I don't want tartars. They're ruining it now. I know this. You and I will never share fried fish together.
I will sleep good tonight. Again, it's my buy or sell. It's my buy or sell. I'm buying and I'm dragging it through tartar sauce. You can have all the ketchup you want.
Buy or sell number 5 is also, we really were, other than this Luby's question, kind of on the same page today with regards to the buy or sell questions. Buy or sell number 5.
Yeah.
It's hotter than Oscar style.
Come on.
Yes, Mikey Madison is in the equation.
Mikey.
Buy or sell number 5. Mikey Madison, hotter than Emma Stone.
I like this.
I feel like this is apple versus apple. They're kind of similar.
Yeah. An interesting battle. This is that new. It's also the new face thing. New face can be very magical. Got that big, beautiful, wide smile. Emma's got a little more of that narrow smile, but man, it's gorgeous. She's got the sexy voice. There's just a lot going on.
Only one of them has been beaten to a pulp, though, in a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Wow.
Have you forgotten Mikey Madison in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Oh, that's right. She's in Once Upon. I was like, wait, Emma Stone was that? No, okay.
She's the one that gets flamethrowed.
That's right. I forgot that was her. What a good movie.
It's the flamethrower. How could you have forgotten that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was the answer?
That is nice. I'm going to I'll buy. I'm going to go recency bias. I'm going to buy Mikey Madison. I'm going to lean in on, kind of that Emma Stone, maybe a little more beautiful / cute than hot. Mikey Madison just got an Oscar for playing a prostitute. So let's go buy. Let's go buy with Mikey Madison, and congratulations to Honora for rolling the Oscars. Best Actress, Director, Editor, what was that? Story, Screenplay. Good Lord, what's his name? Sean Parker.
No, that's the guy that invited. That's the guy that invited Napster. Sean Baker.
Sean Baker. Sorry, not Sean Parker. Sorry, my bad. I did watch Social Network recently. My bad. My bad. Sean Parker did not just clean up at the Oscars. Sean Baker.
You know what's even cooler than winning 4 Oscars? Winning 5 Oscars.
Yeah, they got an editing one too, right? That was the fifth? There was a 5th one, and he was the editor.
No, Baker won 4, and then Madison won 5, and they were nominated for 6. And the only person that lost was the guy in Best Supporting Actor, and I didn't think he deserved it anyway, so that's fine.
Damn, that was impressive. Impressive stuff. All right, real quick before we head towards the exit, let's remind you about Hayes City Store. We talk about Hayes City Store and food all the time, but for the next couple days, we're going to be reminding you about concerts at Hayes City Store. They're almost 10 years old. To celebrate, they're bringing 10 free concerts your way out at Hayes City. It starts on the 7th. It rolls through the 16th. We've mentioned some of these names before, big names in the area like Vallejo and Ian Moore. Pick your concert. Pick the one you like. Maybe you haven't seen Dale Watson in a while, or like Ketch was talking about the other day. Maybe you don't know about Anime Rose. I'm with you. I don't know a lot about her either. Go check them out. It's all free. Go to HayesCityStoreTX.com. And like it says up there, if you have pictures, memories that you want to share, go 10 years at HayesCityStoreTX.com. Again, all those shows are free. So get on out to Hayes City Store. Oh, by the way, you get to also go eat at Hayes City Store, which is out of this world. Unbelievable stuff. All right, Ketch, anything else we need to hit today? Combine-wise, Longhorn-wise, Lubies-wise? Whoa. Is this the one you were talking about before we get out of here? Is this the blasphemy you were discussing? Ricky. Gross? How dare you?
How dare? I have so many questions. Number one, how dare you?
What the hell are you? What? Nothing against Acadiana. Well, I'm sure it's incredible.
Ricky.
What are we doing?
Are you from Texas or are you not from Texas?
It's Lubies. Come on, man.
You are suggesting that there's some place in San Antonio that produces something better than fried crack? Because I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
if Luby's fish is the wrong answer, then I don't want to be at that party. So
it's crazy.
Sorry.
Ricky, I say it all the time. I say it every Valentine's Day. If I could convince my wife and daughter to go to Luby's every year, that's where we'd go. I got them convinced one time. And this is one of the best Valentine's days ever. I try to talk my wife into Luby's at least like 3 times every 6 months, because we'll pass one and I'm always trying to work it. Come on, right there. There it is. Right there. Let's go. All the time. I thought he said Tebow as well. That is a weird thing to bring up when it comes to Janet Jackson. You know, the key thing nobody discusses there is Tim Tebow. TiVo.
No, but you gotta remember what I had just said before you said TiVo was that there wasn't social media around when that happened.
Yeah.
And then you just started listing things that weren't around for social media, and you said TiVo, but I heard Tebow, and I was like, yeah, well, Twitter kind of came out like in 2009, so technically his entire Florida career, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. By the way, check this out, Ketch. Big Cheddar says we got a big announcement in sports that just happened. Jimmy Johnson just announced his retirement from Fox Sports. Wow.
I think he probably saw that comment about Luby's and just couldn't take it anymore.
Probably.
Look what you did.
Yeah. Yeah, way to go.
That was coming though, right? Like that group, they've been together forever. It's time for some dudes to retire. Terry needs to go.
Well, yeah. I mean, Terry and Jimmy, I guess, are the two oldest there. And then, I mean, I'm guessing, obviously, they got Strahan and Gronk now, right? On the younger side?
Dude, I can't do Fox.
No?
I do not watch their pregame show.
Yeah, okay.
If I watch, who's your pregame show of choice?
I don't have one.
I mean, you have to. If it's Sunday, it's 11:20. And you're just going to flip it because, like, the games aren't on yet.
The first one I usually will have on is ESPN.
Me too.
That's usually it. Because it's like they've had Sam on. You know, Sam is the main host for a while. Dig her, like Rex. I'll do it. But, yeah, for some reason, I've never been, as much as I loved, you know, NFL Today when I was a kid, right now, I'm doing stuff around the house to get ready to watch games, and then I usually start dialing in about 11:50 or so, you know, to get ready. So I don't watch the full pre-games usually. But congrats to Jimmy Johnson on an incredible career, and get to that fishing boat and have yourself a retirement, sir. That would be a good way to do it. Let's see.
By the way, speaking of heel turns.
Yes.
Sam Ponder's heel turn might be my least favorite.
Sam Ponder?
Yeah.
There's been a heel turn?
Well, she just, I don't want to get into it, but she's got some politics that
Oh, I thought you meant she hit someone with a chair. See, I'm just a wrestling guy.
I could have been down with that.
I thought maybe Rex was talking and she hit him in the back with a chair, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's just one of the people that is obsessed with like the most marginalized people in the world. Anyway, let's wrap this bad boy up.
All right. Thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and getting those notifications. Football with Friends hits you every day at 6. This one should be extra special because Alex and Cody are back from the combine, and they're talking about all the stuff that happened.
Had me at hello. Combine. Yum, 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 yum.
They're going to be talking about a lot of that.
Cody's
good
in the
stuff.
chat talking about miles per hour. I'm in.
Yep, that's it. Old Fashioned tomorrow morning at 9. And don't forget, if it's Tuesday, that means it's a noon modcast. We'll hit you with the modcast tomorrow. Catch will take his administrative Tuesday, as he has been doing in the spring, to keep the business running smoothly. We certainly appreciate
that. Was an
that.
Anwar Richardson idea. Credit to Anwar.
There it is. It was an Anwar idea. Anwar kept saying, "Will this dude just pick a day every week? Because I'm having to fill in."
I think Anwar just got sick of my shit.
Well, his thing was, "I'm good to fill in. Just tell me when it's going to be. Let me know when it's going to be." And now
that is not what he said. He said, "Why don't you do it on Tuesday? I'll tell you when it's going to be."
That's different. Yeah, since you didn't pick one, he picked it for you. By the way, big chat. I did see this chat earlier. We're going to throw it up. Yes, 4.5 sacks for Shamar Stewart the whole time at A&M. That is hard to believe, but true. Well, I'm interested to see what kind of pro.
Who was the best Aggie D lineman out of that group that they recruited? And is it Nolan? Like, when it was all said and done, even if you only saw pieces of them, who's the guy?
I guess it's Walter, or DJ Hicks was a badass at times, but there's not one that shines, but it's got to be Nolan, I guess. How
the hell did they end up with all of those guys? And there's not an obvious answer.
I know. Well, again, if you know me at all, Catch, you know I am going to mention DJ Durkin's name in my answer. Not that I'm not trying to say those guys didn't do certain things, but holy mackerel. DJ Durkin's time as the DC at A&M is confusing in a lot of ways. Confusing.
You've seen a lot of confusing stuff lately.
I have. Yes. Yes. I've seen that. Now John Cena's a heel. What the hell is going on with the world?
Cats and dogs living together?
We'll talk to you tomorrow for that noon modcast. Y'all take care. Have yourself a good rest of your Monday, and welcome to March. This is Orange Bloods.